I'm so glad so many of you guys have stuck around for me ranking Dragon Ball Z, the sagas in the movies. Now it's time to rank the Dragon Ball original sagas. And this time it's gonna be a doozy. After this one though, I'm gonna take a little break from ranking Dragon Ball, and I'll probably come back and rank the movies and specials later. The Dragon Ball movies and the Z specials I'll rank together. So don't worry, there's going to be plenty more ranking Dragon Ball, but after this ranking of the original Dragon Ball sagas, I'm going to take a couple of weeks off from ranking Dragon Ball in general, and I'm going to do something else. So let's get things started and let's start ranking this shit. Dragon Ball sagas, original sagas from worst to best, let's go!
Rolling into town and bringing with it terror and destruction as it moves to satisfy its never-ending hunger for one thing: Dragon Balls.
Okay, this pick is going to be a little controversial. The Red Ribbon Army saga is a lot of people's favorite from the original Dragon Ball, I hear. And for me, well, it has a really strong start. And I mean, a really good strong start. But then it gets in the middle, and then it feels like it's never going to fucking end. And I'm serious, this is long. But I guess you can't really fault a series for going too long, but good God. And then they add and pack in the filler, and I'm not just talking about in the anime either. The manga feels fucking long. It feels like it's never going to end. I mean, there are just so much going on. Basically, the story starts out as Goku is looking for the 4-star Dragon Ball, and it corresponds with the Red Ribbon Army having to look for the Dragon Balls for their special purposes. I won't dare spoil the reasons that the notorious Commander Red is looking for the Dragon Balls, because it's just too good to spoil. I'm sorry. Anyhow, it's just a very, very long saga. And I mean, this is how or why I ranked Frieza Saga so low. It feels pretentious. It feels like it's not going to end. It's like on an endless marathon trying to achieve a piece of cheese that is just put above your head. But there's a lot of good in this. I mean, I do enjoy characters like General Blue, Commander Silver, General White, and, of course, the one and only Pimp Daddy Master himself, Mercenary Motherfucking Tao, Pai. But still, even though we get to those big highest of highs, it still goes on for too long. Shortly after the Red Ribbon Army is defeated, they gotta go to Fortune Teller Baba's palace and fight a mini tournament there. It doesn't end! Oh lord, it's long, but there is just a lot going on. I mean, I could sit back and just watch it. I still enjoy it. So saying it's terrible is not the good way to rank it. So I'm just going to say it's mediocre to me. It has a really good strong start, a decent middle, and a very long final act. And I mean really long. Just when you finally think that it's over, you still have to do something else within the process of all that. And then you even run into Pilaf again before the next saga even starts. It's just your average, just feels like it doesn't stop to take itself and get itself a glass of water or something. I mean, it's one villain after another, kind of like the Cell Saga, but not as structured. That's my biggest issue with the Red Ribbon Army Saga. I know a lot of people love this one, but for me, I just find it really meh. Let's go on to the next one. Next is the 21st Tenkaichi Tournament, and what a way to go in. This one is just great because the arc starts off with Goku training with Master Roshi, and then they go into the tournament, which is just a lot of fun. This is Dragon Ball hijinks at its best, in my opinion. And the comedy is pretty damn golden here. It's not all serious like how Z took itself. There's just a lot of fun going on. There's fights with Krillin, that's great. Master Roshi versus Krillin. Yamcha always getting the shit into the stick. Just, it's a lot of fun. But what I like is the moral to the story. where the reason Master Roshi is disguised as Jackie Chan is so that Goku has the ability to want to get stronger and want to continue training and not grow bored of his love for martial arts. There's just so much going on here, and the animation here is pretty good too, especially for that 80s cheese animation. It's just one of those things that you can't help but really absolutely love. And there is just some really fun stuff going on here. I love Goku's dichotomy against Jackie Chan, and the fight, how it's choreographed so well. In fact, one of my favorite moments is in the final fight. How long it goes on, it doesn't feel dragged on. Goku does some of his own tricks while using some of Master Roshi's training, and in the same process, Master Roshi's trying to do tricks he never showed the boys, making Goku turn into a giant fucking monkey! It's just fantastic. The whole arc is just fun like that, and that's what makes Dragon Ball enjoyable in my book. It's just, I don't know, it's before the whole serious thing started to hit, and it just showed what Toriyama was really going for in this arc. It's kind of fun. Although later tournament arcs to the story gets better as the show goes on, this one is just more of the laid back and simple stuff. The fight choreography is great. They were able to mix in martial arts and comedy really well. I just can't help but enjoy this one. It's one of the greatest tournament arcs ever, and honestly, this one is more of Goku's growth and Krillin's growth than it is anything. This keeps Goku as the titular character throughout the run of the arc, and it always just pays off really well. The comedy here is just unbelievable. I can't believe how much the comedy goes on here. I sit some of the moments in this and I laugh myself silly, especially at some of the gags. One of my favorite fights is between Krillin and Bacteria. Good God, it's disgusting, but the fart jokes and everything ensue is great. But what you really come here is to see Goku. And you see how far he's grown and how much he's improved throughout the first run of the series. And the fact of the moral of the story is that he's going to continue to try to make himself better no matter what. It's just a fun match of a tournament, and I enjoy every moment of it. Let's go on to the next one. Next is the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai. And, well, I've got to say, you guys are probably going to be irritated, but the tournaments are going to go in order. Yeah, there's going to be no surprises here. However, this one has a lot more risks. I like it better because we actually get to focus on one of my favorite characters out of Dragon Ball, out of the original Dragon Ball, before Z kind of, roughs them up a little bit. And that goes to Tien Shinhan. Oh man, the Crane School and the Turtle Hermit School is just freaking great. I love the rivalry between these guys. Basically, the story starts out as Goku shows up for the tournament right after the Red Ribbon Army Saga, and we are combined with meeting the Crane School, Master Roshi's rival. A student who teaches certain techniques, or pretty much outlawed techniques, to his students that kind of has them build up. Also, he's the brother to mercenary Tao Pai Pai, which is just fucking awesome. Then there's Tien Shinhan, who wants to become a murderer or mercenary? I never understood that portion to his character, but hey, it works out so well in the story, and his rivalry with Goku is really well warranted. Basically, Goku took out somebody that he looked up to, somebody that he highly respected and wanted to be just like. So it worked perfectly, setting up a really good rivalry between the characters. And I think the way that the anime conveys this tournament is way better than the manga, because you get to see how pissed off the Crane Hermit actually is. Because, hey, his brother's dead. He doesn't really have much of a reaction to that. And in the anime, it shows him trying to kill Goku in his bed, and that the tournament lasts a few days. See, I don't like the pacing in the manga when it comes to the tournaments, because good God, it feels like it takes forever. We're also introduced to Tien when he first fights by beating the shit out of Nom in the preliminary finals. Oh my God! That's fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it's badass. This definitely marks Tien Shinhan as one of the best characters out of the original Dragon Ball run, and he does turn over a new leaf later on. It's just pretty much fun. The tournament fights themselves are great too. We get to see a wonderful match between Tien Shinhan and Master Roshi, Jackie Chun. Sorry. Don't want to ruin that illusion. We also get to see a really fun fight between Krillin and Chaozu. Then we get to check out Goku versus Krillin, which is just awesome. Then finally we get to it, Goku versus Tien Shinhan, and it happens to be one of the best fights out of the Dragon Ball run. Easily one of my favorites on how the two fight each other throughout the run of the series. It's just a great run in general, and I absolutely love it. This one is definitely worthy of where it's placed at. Let's move on to the next one. What good is one without the other? Now we have Piccolo Jr. And right after the fight and struggle between the characters with their battle of King Piccolo after they've all been wished back, they all go through some intensive training, and Goku trains with Kami and Mr. Popo for the next tournament. And this one is more of a surprise, because we get to introduce to a character who becomes one of the most beloved characters in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo Jr., or he goes by just Piccolo later on. I absolutely love Piccolo as his own character. He's not a clone. He is definitely more of a child, I guess, and he's not exactly like King Piccolo. He doesn't exactly want world domination. He just wants Goku to pay for his father's death. There's a lot going on here. The tournaments are a lot more fun, and I think this is the best structured tournament out of the entire run of the series. We even get Tien Shinhan getting closure with Mercenary Tao. We get so much going on. We get to see Kami fight as Shen, which that's not the only time a god character has went by the name Shen. It happens later, don't worry. And on top of that, we get so much fucking stuff going on here. But the best of the best, me personally, is when Krillin fights Piccolo Jr. I just find it so well. Krillin has been Goku's side. Goku has always seemed to be a bit better than Krillin. Now it's Krillin's turn to shine, and he finally does get to shine in this arc by taking down Piccolo, or fighting him at least, giving up a good fight. And Piccolo even admitting to Krillin that he's really good at what he does. So it does show Piccolo is more of a honor character than King Piccolo, so yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. But the big fight that everyone loves, including me, is Goku versus Piccolo Jr., and this one is just so good. It's drawn out, it's long, but it's worth the fighting, and it's worth everything. There's just so much going on, and I absolutely love it. It's so good. Like I said, animation is really a step up here, too. It has that familiar early Dragon Ball Z animation that I absolutely love. Everyone knows that my favorite style of the DBZ animation has to go from the, not the Cell Saga, but the Saiyan Saga. And honestly, you just can't get enough of this one. It's great. The comedy is still there, but everyone is fighting more seriously, and the tournament raffles or racks or whatever are just excellent. That's all I'm going to say. It's a great freaking saga. But it's not the best, and it's not the best with Piccolo. Let's move on to the next choice.
This will have to be a quick demonstration. I apologize.
We're finally taking a break from the tournaments to be introduced to probably the best villain out of Dragon Ball. And I'm talking the original Dragon Ball, King motherfucking Piccolo. The King Piccolo saga is the darkest saga that Dragon Ball had attempted to run. And it was huge. I mean, really freaking huge. We start this arc off with Krillin being killed. Yeah, that's fucking brutal. Goku is bloodthirsty and wanting revenge, while more martial artists are ending up dying. Master Roshi gets killed off later on, along with Chaozu. King Piccolo gets his youth back and fucking kills the dragon! Who the fuck seen that coming? When I was a little kid and was rewatching this on Toonami, I did not see that coming! I was like, what the fuck? He blew up the dragon? Holy shit! But, I digress. It was a lot. And it's just so well done. The animation is great here, and I love the music. King Piccolo's theme is probably one of my favorite themes out of Dragon Ball in general. And I mean that. I wish they never had dropped his theme. I love that theme song. The music is good here. There's only a couple of things out of this arc that keeps it from being the best. For one, it's definitely got a couple of retreads of Mercenary Tao fight. Goku has to go to Korin's tower and drink the magic water again. We already know this. And then he comes back stronger. But luckily the anime treats it as a test, and they kind of structure it just a little better instead of, I need more water to make me big stronger. But once Goku comes back, he's bloodthirsty and he's ready to take down King Piccolo in one of the biggest Dragon Ball fights of all time. And one of my favorites that did make it to my top 10 or top 15 list at least, Goku versus King Piccolo. So much is going on. So many of the main cast has been perished. And Goku is just out to take these guys down. And King Piccolo was definitely one of the big bads of Dragon Ball. I know there's not much to his personality, but he is the sole reason this arc did so well. He is just evil for the sake of being evil. He wants world domination and chaos to ensue through his world. And honestly, I love every ounce of him. His personality is loud and bombastic, and I just love it. And I'm going to give a little shout out to Chris Sabat. I'm not a fan of him as a person, but good fucking God, when he plays King Piccolo, he really played King fucking Piccolo, making his dialogue in the dub so much more fun. I mean, Sabat really put so much effort into playing this character, and I don't know for sure or not, but it sounds like he's just having a blast playing him. Playing someone this purely evil had to have been fun. The fights were greatly structured, and just a few of the events were a little slow. But other than that, this arc would nearly be perfect if those elements weren't there. Some of those slow elements. It's just a wonderful, freaking epic saga, and I'm proud to say it's the second best out of the entire series. But, which one's the best? Well, let's move on to it. Yes, the best has to be the very first saga of the entire Dragon Ball franchise, the Hunt for the Dragon Balls arc, or as some fans call it, the Pilaf arc. Well, let's just face it, in the manga, Pilaf isn't in it until around the end. This is the shortest arc in probably most of Dragon Ball. I'm saying probably because I'm not sure. It's 13 episodes in the anime, and it's only a very few chapters in the manga. This one is just great. The comedy is on high here. The characters are great. We get introduced to a lot of memorable characters like Bulma, Goku, Yamcha, the Ox King, Chi-Chi. We just have so much fun here. Basically, Bulma runs into Goku with her car by accident. Goku thinks it's a monster. They meet up. She shows the Dragon Balls. Goku's like, okay, I'll go with you. And that's pretty much the basis of the story. It's an adventure. It's Journey of the West meets Dr. Slump, and that's all you really need to know. It is the pinnacle of really good Dragon Ball. There's little to no filler in this arc at all. It follows it beat by beat, almost. There's some extra scenes with Pilaf that sets him up as the villain, but it works so well. And honestly, it is Dragon Ball for me. I remember watching this on Toonami when I was a kid, when it re-aired and was redubbed. And I was just so happy they stuck with some really great elements. The characters are all fun. The animation has that really good 80s feel. And I don't know. I just have a huge place in my heart for it. Plus, maybe I just like Goku's blue gi. I don't know. I just really like... I think he looks great in blue. Put Goku in blue, damn it! No, I'm just kidding. Anyhow, it's just structured really well, too. It's a straightforward story, and honestly, you can't really go wrong with this one. Pilaf at the end of the saga is just a lot of fun, and I've got to say, the voice work done by Chuck Huber for Emperor Pilaf is fucking fantastic, making me laugh my ass off throughout most of his dialogue. I will have that Dragon Ball! Oh man, it's just a fantastic saga, and honestly, it's the best for me. I know it sounds nuts that I'm saying it over and over, but it just works on so many levels. The comedy is great, the action is fantastic, the story is just simple and straightforward, so that's all you really need. It's not all mixed and flubbed up and all stretched up together. There's no elements that I dislike in this saga. Master Roshi is just enjoyable as a character, how he just shows up as an old man, but yet he's so powerful. I just love that this is the greatest basis for Dragon Ball, and this is where it all began. I'm going overboard by bragging this one up. All I've got to say is worthy of being the best saga out of the series. I'm going to stand by that. That's all I'm going to say. I love this one. And if you disagree, maybe rewatch the series one more time and tell me what you think again. Because this one is worth more than what you give it credit for. It is more than worthy of being the best out of the original Dragon Ball sagas, and I'm going to stand by it like I just said. And that ends this chat for it. That ends this list ranking of the original Dragon Ball sagas, and that gets me done ranking Dragon Ball worst to best for a little while. Next Monday, I'll put something out special for you guys. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Always remember, I'm listening.
It is I, Chuck Huber, and I see you haven't subscribed to Mr. Tim. Shame on you all. You're missing out on so much anime reviews, number lists, and finally, interviews. What kind, you say? Voice actor interviews like mine. So, subscribe. Or I'll get the Dragon Balls and make you disappear.